Today, I'm going to share with you a strategy that has helped me turn thousands into hundreds of thousands of dollars flipping NFTs over the past few months. On my display right now, I have the top NFT projects arranged by floor price. And as you can see, the top 10 projects here all have a floor price greater than 13 Ethereum. Now, 13 Ethereum at current prices is around $35,000, which is a significant investment for someone looking just to enter the space or doesn't quite understand how they're able to turn a profit from that or how the crypto and NFT market works. So today we're going to look at this and how you can finally get to the point where you are able to afford one of these so-called blue chip NFT projects and why you would even want one in your portfolio in the first place. Now, all of these projects that have a floor price greater than, let's say, 10 Ethereum may be considered somewhat of a blue chip if they're able to maintain this floor price over an extended period of time. Now let's take it a project like Doodles. Doodles over the past few months has increased significantly from just around 1 Ethereum back in November last year to a current floor price of around 13 Ethereum and as high as 21 Ethereum a few days ago. Now, what drove this value and why do we see the floor price increasing in value and what does that even mean? So this blue line here is basically the average price that a Doodle has sold for over the past few months, and this has increased. This means that this is the lowest price somebody is willing to let go or sell one of their Doodles for. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the lowest price somebody is willing to buy one for. So this is a key piece of data that you need to keep in mind of a project that has a very high floor price, but no one is actively buying that project. So Doodles, of course, has a floor price of 13 Ethereum, but if we click on the activity tab, you can see that people are actively purchasing and willing to buy their NFTs off at this price. Now, if a floor price of a project is quite high, it generally means you're able to liquidate or get rid of that NFT quite quickly because there's someone on the other end willing to purchase that NFT from you. Now, the volume of these projects and the value of these projects increases over time due to a number of factors. Increased hype, increased value around the brand, and people simply wanting these NFTs because they do want them. It is a free market after all. Now, what is IP and why is it important? A project like Bored Ape is one of the most important projects surrounding this, which has a sort of CC0 attribution method, meaning that you're able to own this Bored Ape, and when you purchase one of these Bored Apes, you own the intellectual rights and intellectual property around that Bored Ape, meaning you can build a brand around it, you can do with what you wish with that Bored Ape as you are the owner of it. The same thing goes with Doodles. People are able to buy these NFTs and use them either as their profile pictures or build brands around them and sort of use them as their online digital identity. And this form of ownership is what drives up a lot of the value because people do believe in ownership and want to own things that are entirely theirs. They aren't just simply renting something or giving money to a company in exchange for some product that they can't actually have as their own because they don't own all the rights to that project. Now, Doodles is one of the projects that I managed to pick up a few months ago when the floor price was around 3 Ethereum. I added a few of those to my own portfolio and I added one to our community wallet as well of the YMH NFT project, which of course will be given away to the YMH NFT holders in the future. Now, why would you want to own one of these NFT projects that has such a high floor price? If it's already made such significant gains, of course, there probably isn't much gain to make in the future. Well, this can be said for a variety of different projects. The same could have been said for Bored Apes just a few months ago when I purchased the Bored Ape for around 50 Ethereum. Many people thought that this was the peak of the market and Bored Ape would never get higher. A few months later, Bored Ape Yacht Club is sitting at 105 Ethereum. What drives this value and why do you want to own one of these blue chip projects? Well, over time, they're more likely to hold their value than they are to lose value. For example, if you're entering a newer project that not many people know about, that there is, of course, some sort of launch hype around but doesn't have sustained value, you don't understand if the founders are able to deliver, you don't know the long-term roadmap of the project, you don't quite understand what is happening down the line, you have no idea from your side whether that project is going to sustain its floor price or sustain its value over time. However, projects like Doodles and projects like Bored Ape have shown their value over time. They've shown that they're able to deliver, and this has increased value of the project over time, as well as maintained that floor price and sustained value. As well as people entering these projects, let's say with 13 Ethereum or Bored Ape's 105 Ethereum, aren't entering these projects, or well, shouldn't be, with their life savings, meaning they're less likely to panic sell during a period of market volatility or when the market is dipping. So if you have, let's say, $35,000 to invest in a single NFT, you're less likely to try and liquidate that at a moment's notice when the market takes a bit of a turn. However, if you're buying into a project and the floor price is less than 1 Ethereum, you may need that money or you may be trying to flip for a short, quick-term profit, and you're willing to liquidate that NFT at a moment's notice as soon as somebody's willing to buy it off of you. That's why you want these higher priced, higher floor price blue chip NFTs, because they firstly maintain your portfolio value over time, as well as have higher significant upside than the lower price projects do. For example, a project moving from a 1 to a 3 ETH floor is of course a 300% gain, but a project moving from a 10 ETH to a 30 ETH floor is the same percentage gain, although it moves much quicker when the project is already at a 10 ETH floor. So the same percentage gain, but way more profit in Ethereum terms and therefore in dollar terms as well. Now, how do you get to the point where this happens, and how do you know when to invest into these NFTs? Well, first we need to understand the flow of capital in the NFT market. As you can see, back in July last year is when we first saw the major surge in NFT volume, all the way to $1.65 billion total volume traded. Now, what caused this value, or what caused the surge? Of course, there was hype around NFTs, but more so, we saw a lull in the cryptocurrency market. You need to understand the correlation between the crypto and the NFT market here to understand when to buy into NFTs and when the hype is really going to be booming for NFTs. So during this period, let's say of July 2021, is when Bitcoin marked its macro bottom after this major crash back in May. During that same period is when we saw a major surge and almost all-time high in volume traded on NFTs. Then as Bitcoin started recovering and making newer highs up into October, we saw a slight lull in the NFT market. And then recently in January, when Bitcoin started dumping again, we saw an increased surge in NFTs again, even going as high as a new all-time daily volume traded on OpenSea of around $240 million. Now, the reason that this inverse correlation happens with the crypto market, meaning that when the crypto market dips, NFTs boom, and when NFTs drop, crypto market booms, is because people are looking to chase opportunities. Humans are creatures of habit and are looking to find where the next best opportunity is and how they're able to increase their portfolios in the best way possible. Now, when the crypto market is dipping, it's very difficult to try and make gains in a market like that unless you're shorting or betting against the market. But if you're trying to look for an increase in volume or look for somewhere where your portfolio is about to increase in value, people then flock to NFTs because NFTs retain their value in dollar terms. So let's say an NFT is worth $30,000. Then as Ethereum increases in value or decreases in value, the NFT is going to try and retain that dollar value and adjust the Ethereum value accordingly. So that is why Ethereum and NFTs are related. Now, how do you get to an NFT at this point where, let's say, you can't afford 105 Ethereum Bored Ape? What do you do to increase your portfolio or increase some of your portfolio to the point where you're able to afford one of these? Well, you have to look for NFTs that are just launching and just starting that you're able to mint for a very low price. So many of these projects that I've mentioned here, all minted for very low prices or even free at some points, and over time, that value has then increased. But in order to mint or get access to be the first person to create one of these NFTs or mint it on the blockchain, you need to either have a whitelist spot or figure it out before anybody else does and mint it before the hype is already there. These days, of course, there's a lot of hype around projects before they start in order to drive up that floor value as they launch. But in the past, there were different ways that you could do this. For example, let's take a look at Clone X. The floor price currently at 17.5 Ethereum. This project was quite easy to mint if you had one of the qualifying NFT projects from prior. So for example, if you want to make a pre-sale affordable as possible, they made the minting price 0.05 Ethereum. However, you needed one qualified artifact NFT that gave you 3 reserved opportunities to buy into the 48-hour pre-sale, meaning that you had to purchase one of their prior NFTs in order to mint the newer Clone X NFTs with Takashi Murakami, which then in turn drove up the value and the floor price of the previous NFT set because you needed that to get access into this project. And this is a very good strategy that projects use in order to drive up the value of their future NFT sets and their future NFT drops that they have down the line. But then again, this was about a 3 to 4 Ethereum investment for myself per Clone X that I was able to mint. But even then, a 3 to 4 Ethereum investment is quite a significant investment. Now, the other option is, of course, something like Mechaverse, where you're able to enter your Ethereum address and you raffle for a whitelist spot or an opportunity to mint one of these NFTs. You're able to mint one of these NFTs for everyone who wasn't able to access or win one of those spots. You're then able to sell that NFT or flip it to them very shortly after launch because they really want in, even if you didn't really want into the project. And you see something like this. So over time, the value of this project did decline because there was so much hype around the launch. It was one of the most hyped up NFT launches of all time, and you saw a bunch of people flip their NFTs for 5 to 6 Ethereum the day of or the day after launch because they managed to mint for very low price and people wanted to get in. However, the hype for this died off quite quickly and you saw the floor price decline very fast. They didn't quite have anything to sustain that same amount of volume and hype as they did before the launch. Now, if you want to get into one of these projects and you aren't able to win one of these raffles, what else do you do? The other best solution is to try and figure out how you get these whitelist opportunities. Of course, you can get into their Discords, you get into their Twitter, you enter fan art competitions, and all of these ways that you can provide value to these projects in exchange for a potential whitelist spot, meaning you're able to mint before the public does, or you're able to mint and the public doesn't, and then you're able to sell your NFT on the secondary market to the public that is willing to pay a premium for these projects. But if you don't have the opportunity or the time to grind for these whitelist spots, which in my opinion, I think you should if you don't want to make this a full-time career, you're able to grind for those spots and make a couple of Ethereum every single month. That is a good full-time career and a good full-time income if you ask me. But if you don't have the time, you're not able to do this, then you can partner with additional projects like, for example, YMH NFT, which is my NFT project that I've mentioned quite a few times on this channel. Fortunately, we've had a very successful time so far. We've had great whitelist opportunities with a number of partner projects, and basically by holding this NFT, you gain the utility behind it, which is access to, of course, the private Discord, 2 additional free NFT sets in the future that you're able to mint for free by holding this NFT, as well as whitelist and Discord invite opportunities. So for example, if you do want access to projects that are minting down the line and you're not able to grind for those whitelist spots, you're able to enter the raffles within our Discord amongst a number of 2,400 people, so a small number of people, a way higher chance of winning whitelist spots, especially if we're able to secure many of them for our communities. Sometimes we might be even able to secure one per holder. Then you got a way higher chance of entering those projects in a short-term basis. Now, another thing I want to talk about in terms of the floor price and flipping, these NFTs that are, let's say, over 10 Ethereum, 100 Ethereum, and so on, have a way higher chance of sustaining that value over time because people aren't looking to flip once they get to this floor price. Somebody who is able to invest 13 Ethereum or even 105 Ethereum in a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT is not looking to liquidate that in the short term. So they're not going to flip it very, very quickly if they do have the chance. They're here to hold that floor value, and they're here to hold that investment the same as you would purchasing a house or a Rolex or a yacht, excuse the pun. And of course, many people are going to hate on this, saying that it's just a JPEG. Of course, it won't retain its value and it's just the next Beanie Babies and so on. Of course, that could be, you have to understand that NFTs are a very, very speculative market. But if you're looking to make those flips and you're looking to make those short-term trades, this is one of the best opportunities right now in order to make significant gains in your cryptocurrency portfolio. I've mentioned in previous videos that my main goal of my cryptocurrency portfolio is to increase my Ethereum holding, because I do believe it's one of the currencies that will sustain its value over time and will be here for many, many years down the line. And I've shown in previous videos, you can go and click on them, how Ethereum has outperformed just about every other coin in the market, and why I believe that this will be the main store of value and why I store most of my wealth in Ethereum. I hope you guys liked that video and it did give you some advantages and some information about the NFT market and how you can flip them and get into projects that you can get right after mint and then flip them for a profit to eventually get yourself and acquire some of those blue chip NFT projects that will hold their value and hold your portfolio's value up over time. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I shall see you in the next video. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, please comment down below. Orange key.